Hi everyone, I just thought I'd say hi, and I thought I'd explain a couple of techniques that I've been doing lately, and it's kind of a good little reminder to myself as well about these. I hope you're all well, and it's just a short video and I just thought I'd share it with you. Okay, so today I'm painting oil paints. I'm painting, she's actually my lovely goddaughter. This is Emily, and she's working as a nurse. She's been doing this for a while, but she's really a student nurse, but she's been taken on because of all of the COVID stuff. So, very brave young girl. She's only 20. Anyway, this is the painting that I'm doing. I'll do a couple of close-ups in a minute because I want you to see the differences in layers. The reason why I'm showing you this painting is because it's good to do a painting like straight off sometimes, but there are some paintings that I will choose to go push it much further and go for a really realistic effect. So I thought I would show you how I achieve this, and the difference really is layers, is how many layers you put on the painting. So this, sometimes you will do a layer, just one layer, and be happy with that, but I just want to show you the difference. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I think if you can see that there, what I've done is so this is a painting in progress. This part of the painting there has now had 2 layers. This one has had 1 layer. And I think the difference is, I asked my daughter and she says, well, it's darker. And I said, yes, it is darker. I says, but it's gradually getting more depth and it's more detailed. So on this one, you can't see much of the tooth or the background on this side, and it's smoother. This side is much more chalky, and I've waited for this side to dry. So this is kind of my drawing side, if you like, where I'm happy with how things are now, and now I need to do this like this on this side, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so I have my, before I move on to that, sorry, the other thing that I will do with this one, because I'm going to take this as far as it will go, is I'm actually going to experiment with layers as well. So, sorry, with glaze layers, where I'm going to use, I always call it Ritalin, don't I, but it's called Liquin, and I'm going to actually do that over the top as well, and it'll give transparent layers to your colour. So, I'll just zoom out a little bit again so you can see. Okay, so what I have now is I have my palette, tear off palette. I can't remember where this is from. Oh, don't know. And I think it's from the Works actually. So I've mixed up on here. I've got all of my main colours. I've got cadmium, crimson, my titanium white. I've got ochre, lemon, and golden yellow. I've got 2 browns, sienna and umber. I've actually picked up this turquoise paint. I love this turquoise paint. I use it quite a lot. Been really good for painting people with PPE, and I just found it in an old box somewhere. Ultramarine, sap green, which is one of my favourites, and of course black. Okay, so I've got a range of brushes. Right, I've got a range of brushes. I prefer flat brushes, to be honest, flat brushes, because you can do quite big areas. Yeah, but for the second or third layers, your brush starts to get smaller. Okay. So I also have this silver tin, which is a bit of a mess, don't know why that's like that, and it's a brush washer. So you put your terps in it, and all of the rubbish goes to the bottom when you're washing your brushes, and it will keep your terps clean, and I rarely have to clean it, to be honest. So what I've done is I've mixed up a few different flesh tones, because I thought I'd just show you on this area how I would go on to my next layer. Okay, so I've mixed up, here I've started off with the base, which is my white, my yellow ochre, my cadmium red, and I've added a little bit of sap green to that. Sometimes you can add ultramarine as well, just to calm it down, because if you mixed up a peach and you checked it against your own skin colour, it's far too bright. So tone it down either with blue or green. That's what I would recommend. Here I've added I've taken the same colour, but I've added more sap green, some blue, and a little bit of crimson to that. So it's basically darkening it up all the time. And this one, you can see I've added umber and just a little bit of sienna just to warm it up a bit. Okay, so when I'm applying this, and for every layer I put on I use a new palette of paints, if that makes sense, because sometimes if you've left a palette out for days, it will dry, and you end up with little blobs in your painting, and it's just not good really. So what I do, I'm just going to darken up a little bit more, is I am going to just start now and blend in detail. So I'm going to zoom in again so you can see what I mean, hopefully. Okay, so I've got my dark colour. I always put all my colours on my palette as well, because you never know if you might need them. Sometimes, yeah, I do add a bit of black just to darken it up. So I'm going to work on this area here, and I'm just going to go in there, around there. So I'm looking at my picture all of the time, okay? What I'm going to then do is I'm going to put on the warmer shade, the slightly warmer shade. I'm just checking on there. Warmer shade there. Yeah, that's fine. And the colour, because it's on top of oils already, will go on nice and smooth. So I'm going to add this slightly lighter shade there as well. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I use just a rough brush like that. Just a dry brush, and this is called Scumberland. So one of my favourite things about oil paintings, and that you can't do with anything else, is you get a dry brush and some tissue, and you just encourage it. You're hardly touching the surface like that. And I'm not doing that, because if you do that, then it all mixes in. I'm not doing that. I'm just, there we go. And just easing it over, like so. Okay, and then what I need is a lighter shade, so I'm actually going to just make a slightly lighter shade to go in here. So I'll put that, yeah, I quite like that shade. Now I'm going to paint over the eyebrows entirely, but I know where they are now, so it's fine. I've got the drawing right, so I'm not going to muck it up or anything. I'm just going to leave them there. So actually I haven't put enough of that one. This is where sometimes I use multiple brushes as well. Just because I've already got that dark and I want to mix it in with the light. So again, my blending brush. It's amazing because when I say this to kids at school, the ones who want to do oils, they all go, oh yeah, it's just like makeup. And yeah, it is actually. Now I don't want it like airbrush type, so you know, some bits of it I might leave as a brush mark. I quite like there where I've only blended the very outer edges of it. And then, just in here, just going to start to put that shade in there. It wasn't quite right. Yeah, and just do it like that. And then you can see the difference with the eyes. I've got loads to do on this eye, because that one I've really toned it right down. This almost looks a little bit, I don't know, false, do you know what I mean? I mean, the whites of the eyes aren't right at all. The whites of the eyes are really quite dark on there. So I'm going to use, I do sometimes use just a really small brush, and I'm just going to play around with this kind of grey colour. Let's have a look at this, see this bit's dry now, so I can work on it. So I think, if you're doing a painting like this, you don't have to be really patient where you have to wait for loads for it to dry. It's fine. If you're working in detail anyway, by the time one bit's dry, you should be all right to carry on working with it. So I will just add that in there, and I don't necessarily blend everything, but if I do, I would use a really small brush in there to blend that. I'm going to get a little bit darker in there, and I'm going to add a touch of crimson as well. There we go. A little bit of crimson. And I'm just going to use my brush, and what I'm going to do is close right in on my iPad, zoom in so I can see that bit really clearly. I mean, luckily Emily has taken a really clear selfie, which is excellent. And this one, I'm going to take my time on this one. She doesn't know I'm doing it, which is even better. So I thought, no, I'm going to just really get this, use this as a bit of a challenge, and do it as well as I possibly can. And then I may be entering it in competitions or using it for something else. But sometimes it's nice to have a big project. It's nice to have a project that's like, you know, I've been doing loads of nurses and PPEs and it's been fantastic. What a great project. But I feel as though at the same time I need to have a big project that oh, that's too bright. See, too bright straight away. So I take my brush and just tone that down a bit. Just drag that dark back in, and you can just really, just by using my dry brush there, I'm actually just using the same brush. And I'm just gonna, I don't want it to look as though there's dog tooth on the canvas, so I'm just gonna bring that right in. And what you need to do as well is keep checking the whole time that you're not losing the lightness. But if you do, it doesn't really matter because you will get them back. And at some point, everybody loses the lightness at some point in the painting. But it's nothing to get greatly worried about. You will get it back. And what I do as well is I take photos the whole time and just check that I haven't lost it. Now this eye is lighter than the other eye. But I want a really realistic effect, so I'm going to put some little marks in like that. Yeah. Now then, when I do my glaze layers, what I'm going to do as well is, and I will show you when I get onto that, which will be a bit of a while away, because I'm looking at this one and thinking I need to make changes to this. I need to look at the eyelashes again. I need to look at some of the lights around here. But I enjoy doing that, you know, I enjoy faffing about with things like that. So what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of keeping it going in here. I'm actually painting over the eyelashes now. I'm trying not to lose the shape because I don't want to lose the likeness. And I'm going to have to go really dark in here. Like that. Yeah, and I've just added a little bit of ultramarine there. My flesh tone. Now the other thing is Emily's got freckles. Now that for me would be my third layer before my glazes, because what I would do is just put on little freckles and just, let's see if I can do it now, is just, yeah, I'm just checking against there. So if I was going to put a freckle on this, because she does have a little few there, I would put them on like that, just on that bit, but I'd get my dry brush and I would just break them up a little bit so that they look like freckles and they're not going to, you know, they're not going to look like she's got terrible skin or anything. So I'm actually going over. Now, this takes a lot of patience, but actually, if you enjoy it, you know, some people, and there's no wrong thing with anything, you know, some people prefer doing relatively quick paintings. It was interesting to watch Christian Hook the other day, who, you know, would do quite a quick painting, whereas, and straight in, whereas some artists, oh, I can't remember his name now, the guy who won last year, I think it was, with the big chunky layers, he said, oh, this is just my first layer, and he would have to add some more. So, and I thought that was really, really interesting just to watch. That was on Portrait Artist of the Week. I don't know if you've been watching that. So I'm going to leave it there for now, but I just thought I'd just do a quick little demo, because sometimes we just forget actually that you can keep layering it up and keep going with your painting. Okay, and I'll be in touch. Take care, bye.